Y'all be talking shit about fucking Gen Z stare, but this is how y'all act. Hi, I made this purchase a couple of days ago and I would like to return. Okay, let me set that up for you. Do you have the original receipt? Okay, so you will be refunded $43.63 ending in the card 1111.
The price for this is $50. Why am I not getting back $50?
Right, so the day that you purchased this item, you used a coupon, so you're only getting back what you spent, which was $43.60. You did not pay $50 for this item.
No, but this is $50. Why am I not getting back the $50? Like this is $50.
You did not pay the full amount when you purchased this item, so you will not be getting back the full amount.
Oh, this is ridiculous. This was $50.
The Gen Z stare, in case you don't know what that is, it's basically a vacant, unblinking facial expression that younger people give in response to a question or a social prompt instead of giving a verbal reply. It typically happens during everyday conversations in the classrooms or even in customer service interactions, and it is often perceived by older generations as disengaged or judgmental or even awkward. Now, the first time I ever heard this word, I immediately knew what they were talking about. Now, picture the scenario. Imagine you're having the worst day ever and you see an old Karen just spewing bullshit in your face. And instead of listening to your first instinct, which is to leap across the counter and beat the living shit out of the Karen, you listen to your second instinct, which is self-control, because beating the shit out of people for saying dumb shit isn't socially acceptable, unfortunately. So in the midst of all this internal chaos, you just have this deadpan facial expression. And I feel people who work in retail or customer service can relate to this heavily. For me, whenever I have that expression, what usually goes through my head is, are we for real? Like, are we being dead ass? Like that's what is in my head when my face looks like this.
So glad that the older generations are calling out my generation, Gen Z, for being so socially immature. Finally, y'all invented this weird ass Gen Z stare shit. Y'all know the one. You ask someone a simple question like, hey, do you need some help looking for something today? It just hits you with this dumb, confused, deer in headlights type of look, as if you just committed some egregious crime by simply asking them, treating them with basic human decency. Imagine having to grow up with these people, having to live around these people.
Now, a lot of people over the years have expressed how they felt about the Gen Z stare. Some critics are saying Gen Z is rude, lazy, antisocial, and they lack communication skills, which honestly, I don't think that's the case. Because if I were to put it nicely, Gen Z just does not give a f***. That's just what it is. We do not give a f***. And we're not afraid to show it without actually showing it, if you get what I mean. I feel the Gen Z stare can be used in like 3 different scenarios. The first is when they're experiencing a Karen moment, like I explained earlier. Basically, when someone older is talking down on them like they're royalty or something. And the next scenario where the Gen Z stare can be used is when the person genuinely lacks social skills and they cannot effectively communicate. So they just start lagging IRL.
Hi, how are you today? Okay. What do you want to do today?
And the last scenario the Gen Z stare can be used is when a person is intentionally trying to be rude, which obviously I do not condone. But out of these 3 scenarios, the first one is the most common. That is why I do not buy into the whole idea that Gen Z is socially immature. That narrative doesn't fly because we can communicate just fine. We are really, really social people, but that is when we want to be social, when we want to communicate. Because imagine dealing with adults who just don't care how they talk to someone. Just because they are older than the person, they feel they can just address the person however they want. And the annoying part is that they feel entitled to being treated properly when they have been treating the other person like shit. The truth is, respect is earned, and many Gen Z workers have to deal with rude, entitled customers every single day just because they want to earn money. And instead of pretending to be cheerful, Gen Z just chooses to emotionally disengage. Is that so bad? I remember this one time where I went to a fast food place. When I was was about to pay, there was also this older guy, like it could be someone's dad who was like in his 50s or something. He was also about to pay. So the person at the cash register was like, sorry, your bill is so and so and so. He was like, how is my bill so and so? Then the person had to give this man a breakdown. Okay, so you're paying for this, you're paying for this, you're paying for this. This man said, no, I'm not paying for this. Like what he was getting, I think, was rice and stew or something. He said he's not going to pay for the stew. And I was like, in my head, I was like, the fuck? He literally was yelling at these girls who were just trying to do their jobs that he's not paying. The girls were trying to say, sir, this is our policy. You have to pay. This man kept shouting that I'm not going to pay. You know what? I'm going to buy from somewhere else after they've already given this guy the food. So in my head, I was like, the fuck? Like I was already doing the Gen Z stare in a way. And the girl at the cash register was also doing the same thing. So it's just crazy. Like some of these adults, they just do not know how to act. They feel just because they are older, they can just act however they want. That it doesn't work like that, honestly. Now, you see this is why I cannot work in retail, bro. I will get fired on the first day. Another reason for why Gen Z reacts to these types of interactions is the difference in the work culture. Now, older generation often value friendliness, company loyalty, and customer service. The older generations, their values are the customer is always right. You have to attend to the customer with a smile, like the world is all rainbows and sunshine. Gen Z, however, they just think it's just a job and the company doesn't care about me. They don't give two shits about me. So why would I pour my heart and soul serving a company that will not piss on me if I was on fire? So they're just like, I'm just here for the money. Just give me my check and I can go. We do not have to prolong this interaction. That is Gen Z. And that is where the expression, just put the fries in the bag, bro. Like, just put the fries in the bag. That's where the whole expression came from. Another thing is that I genuinely think social media has played a big role in how Gen Z sees the typical 9-to-5 work. Because as young people, we're constantly on the internet, on TikTok, on Instagram. We see all these influencers making so much money online. And we often compare our jobs to creators' lifestyles. So the thought process is that if somebody is just posting stuff online and they're making millions, why do I have to work this job? Why do I have to pour my heart and soul into this job that's just going to pay me minimum wage? So they're just like, fuck it, I'm just doing it to get paid. They're not like putting their heart and soul into it. That's how Gen Z genuinely sees a lot of 9-to-5 jobs. Overall, I think there's this generational divide between millennials, boomers, and Gen Z, because the latter prefers more friendlier conversation. They expect small talk. They expect you to indulge in a conversation with them. Meanwhile, Gen Z just prefers efficiency over interaction. They just want to do what they're here to do. They do what they gotta do and they clock out. And I think neither of the two sides fully understands the other side's expectations. That's why we have this clash between boomers, millennials, and Gen Zs, because they cannot really understand where they are each coming from. In conclusion, I'm just going to say that the Gen Z stare is probably just a combination of burnout, customer service fatigue, changing and evolving social norms, internet culture, COVID, and overall, our generation is just less willing to fake enthusiasm for jobs that we genuinely do not enjoy. Everyone may be calling it the Gen Z stare, but I do not think it is a Gen Z problem. I think it's just what happens when an entire generation grows up online, they enter a rough economy, and is expected to just smile through jobs they do not even want to do. Because genuinely, what is funny, like a lot of these guys can't even afford good housing. So why should they be smiling? Like, let me just end this video here, bro. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, baby girls. Goodbye.